Welcome to Thriving Thursday. Today we're going to talk about evergreen content and how this can really become your best friend as an entrepreneur, an author, a coach, or a speaker. So what is evergreen content? This is content that is continually relevant and stays fresh for your readers. You have to remember that you're always working on a very basic level with some of your people that come in. So basic content is always relevant. So why is it evergreen? Well, it's sustainable information that's long past its published date. So it's out there and it lasts a long time. That's why I talk about sticking with the basics. The basics or foundational tools don't usually ever change. So let's get into some reasons what and why to do this. So tip number one around this is write your evergreen content for beginners. Basics are usually concepts that don't change. And the beauty of this is if you have this content and the basics do change at some point in the future, there's some sort of transition in the field, then you can just update this content. You don't have to start from scratch. Tip number two, avoid technical language. This was one thing that killed me when I first started learning funnel building was some of the language just had me freaked out. Autoresponder. I was actually afraid of an autoresponder, and all it was a drip campaign, which I have written those for years, but for some reason, technical terms and the whole concept just freaked me out. I actually had an avoidance to it. And my first coach that was going through this with me finally one day said, "What is it about this? Will that attack you in a dark alley? What about this makes you feel unsafe?" And when we got through the blockage around that technical language, it seemed kind of silly. And looking back on it, it does seem silly to me. But I'm always very aware of how I have to speak to a beginning audience because I don't want them to develop that same fear that I had. Tip number three, narrow your topic down. So with this, we get these really long blogs or videos or things that don't, they just share a broad overview. If you can narrow your evergreen topics down and provide small, actionable steps, not theory, this is going to go a long way with attracting and retaining your followers. If they can see results today or tomorrow or, right away, because we are such an instant gratification society, all the better for you. They will come back for more. Tip number four, link all this together. Take those small bites of content and link them together to keep your audience moving forward. One of the first evergreen programs I created, which I now give away for free, I used to charge for it, when I first created it, was a 28-day platform building program. And I broke it down into 7-day bites. So you would get the first 7. There was an actionable step to take to open something up and work on it every day. Then after that 7-day video, they got a 14-day video. So they got from day 8 to day 14. Again, small actionable steps, building the platform. It wasn't the be-all, end-all. It wasn't going to get them a massive, 10,000 million followers. But what it did was it gave them a place to start. And by linking that all together, they continued forward progress. And lastly, it creates a content build-up. So you have the ability to build up content that you can repurpose. We've talked about this all month. You can put it into audio. You can put it into video. You can put it into speaking engagements, into your PowerPoints. You can put it into lead magnets. There are so many ways you can do this, but you have to start somewhere and you have to keep the content going. And remember, as usual with Thriving Thursday, that if you're not fully building your funnel in some way, you are leaking clients and revenue. And nothing pains me more than seeing all of you leave tens and thousands of dollars on the table. So I'll see you next Thursday. Have a wonderful week.